12. Tell you. 12. Hey, y'all. Peace and love. Get them in here. You don't want to miss this. Young TB, man. I'm about to get it cracking.
And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young TV.
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you're just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you're tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young.
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter. Peace.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
We over 2,000 tapes now. We started, we didn't have this in the archives, and we heard people talking about it, and we're saying, you know, man, they ain't never heard of Malachi, York. And they never heard of the Holy Tablets. Right? People talking about the land beyond the ice wall. And there's extraterrestrial who have built, who have bases of civilization on the other side of the ice wall. We hearing all of these ice wall comments, so we thought, hey, we ought to do a tape talking about the ice wall. And we wish we had pictures to show you the diagram of Shamballah and Antarctica, the central world, right? But in order to understand what's going on with the ice wall thing is that at the South Pole, there's a big ice capsule. And if you drive to the center of that ice capsule, there's a big old lake. And in this lake, it's a bottomless lake that goes all the way down and connects with an ocean, a bigger ocean that's bigger than the oceans on the surface, called the Oregan Ocean. Now, my girl was telling me about, there was this dude that went down in the ocean and he was knocking on some glass at a certain part of the ocean, and that he was saying that it was an ocean inside of an ocean. Now, that what he was knocking on, it wasn't glass. It was an advanced plastic. Now, you can read the Holy Tablets by the master teacher, freedom master teacher, Dr. Malachi York. You can read the Holy Tablets for free in the links in the descriptions. And the doc talk about this in the Underworld chapters, in the chapters where he mentioned Shamballah. Also in the book he got called about Shamballah. It's just a specific scroll just on Shamballah, right? Where you go in on Yaku and all the beings that's underground. We're about to get into that. But the ice wall is just a big iceberg capsule That if you go to the middle of it, it's a big old like a big old lake in the middle. I think it's called Lake Victoria or something. It's named after Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria supposedly sent guys down there prior to, but the Moors was already down there. Right, we could get into that too. The Denacles. But the first events of the government getting involved beyond this ice wall, and it's not like it could be for you flat earthers. I know we got some flat earther guys in here. We can get into that too. The earth is flat, the earth is round. The earth is flat and earth is round. It depends on what perspective you're looking at it from, right? But it's a center world. And this is the world that they're talking about that's beyond the ice wall, which is actually inside of your earth, because your earth is hollowed out. Study Hollow Earth. A guy named Richard Shaver talked about it. A guy named Billy Woodricks, it was a Flugelrod that says he came from the center of the earth. We got those tapes posted on our page, talking about Antarctica. So the earth is hollow. They made movies about it called Journey to the Center of the Earth with The Rock. Was it The Rock? They made several different series of this movie called Journey to the Center of the Earth. Go check them movies out. And there's a central sun in the center of your earth. Some people was asking, what's Shamballah here when the planet was called Tiamat? No, Shamballah actually was designed after the crash. After Nubu technically didn't crash into Tiamat, but the 4 satellites that were trapped in the atmosphere or the magnetic force field of Nubu crashed down into Tiamat, and that caused the reconstruction period. And this is when they one of these ships shot off a fireball. You can, like I say, you can read all of this in the holy tablets. A plasma fireball, or this plutonium, because these beings form this particular element and for explosive purposes. And they shot off of this fireball, and the Anunnakis trapped it and put it into the center of Earth. This became known as your black sun, a 600-mile sun, right? And so it's a tropical city down there. All right. Now Hitler hooked up with Ashtar Command, and they set up bases beyond this ice wall. They became known as the Third Reich, and Hitler was already down there. See, then the U.S. government later on go look up Project High Jump. Go look up Project High Jump with Admiral Bird, right? And it was another one. You got Project High Jump, and it was another one. Well, they sent Admiral Bird and them down now. And they got their butt kicked by Hitler and them, because they didn't know Hitler and them pull out them flying saucers on them, because Hitler and them had flying saucers, right? They had got the technology from Ashtar Command and the Reptilians, right? So Hitler and them kicked their butt and bent them over, because they had UFO crafts with tank aircraft guns mounted to them, and they pulled out and lit Admiral Bird and them up, and pretty much set them back tucking their tail. And then they came back again and tried it again and got their butt kicked again. Right? By Hitler and them. So Hitler and them was the first guys pretty much to go have a setup down there besides the extraterrestrials already being there. So on the other side of this ice wall, as soon as you go down in that city, if you look at the map in the holy tablets, you'll see it's a city down there called Rainbow City. Now, Doc goes in to say that these beings down there, these extraterrestrials, built advanced cities out of plastic, right? So, and they are the ones that's involved with the Project Green recycle thing, where they recycle all your plastic and your bottles and glass as well. And they really utilize this to build whole cities out of it underground. And also that guy, I gotta go look back and look at that video of the guy knocking on the ocean inside the ocean, because he could have been knocking on one of the dome cities that were built, because they build these dome cities underwater now, where they take a big old balloon, go down there and pump air into it, and then they build a dome inside the balloon, and then pop the balloon, and then they got a whole dome underwater, right? So for the people that's saying, beyond the ice wall, right? So beyond the ice wall, you have several extraterrestrials. actually, like I said, once Admiral Bird and them couldn't get down from the south end, which is Antarctica, right? They then went to the North Pole, and because of the entrance, it's more than one entrance, but the two main entrances, the big entrances that UFOs come into, is the North Pole, which is really the south, and then the South Pole, which is really the north, right pole. They come into those two entrances, which is huge holes there, that's covered, that's surrounded by ice, right? Now, they can either go to the city right there when you first come in on the bottom in Antarctica in the underworld. You can go through the lake, and the lake will bring you out in the bottom of the Oregon Ocean. And once you go to the top of the Oregon Ocean, you will be in the center of the world called Shamballah. There's dinosaurs and all the animals that they thought that was extinct is down now. Go watch, like I said, go watch Journey to the Center of the Earth. They talk about it in there. Now these grays, they have bases down there. There's another group of beings, and we already got tapes on all of these people. And like I say, Doc talk about them in the Holy Tablets. The Duwaanis, little short, hairy-looking beings that come from the Sirius star system, right? Came from Sirius B. They originated from Melmac, the Centaurian star system, and their genetics was used to make another being called the Sasquatch, which is a being that was created in Sirius 2 as well. And they call them on Star Trek the Ewoks, or which is Star Wars. They call them on Star Wars the Ewoks. Yeah, that's right. EU. They call them the Ewoks on Star Trek, and the real name for these beings is called the Duwaanis, and they are your leprechaun beings, where your leprechaun tails and all that come from, right? And they live down there, beyond the ice wall, right? These beings, and some of them came to the surface and mixed with humans. And some of them just can't come to the surface because they got hybrid children amongst the humans. And I actually met one. We did a whole tape on that called Galactic Family of Life Part 16, Sinclair's grandson. Because the leader of them beings, his name is Sinclair. Right? That's right, Amin, right? Sinclair, right? And if you see Sinclair, they look like porcupines, and he's always getting his fur curl. They have like a porcupine type hair, and he's always getting it combed out, so it's always look like he be fresh and clean. These guys are smart, man, intelligent, and they got rhythm, and they got soul, and they like gold, right? Another group of beings we already talked about, the Jomonians who came here, the Teros, right? Who went underground, right? When they got into it with the Shin dynasty, the Coneheads, you know them as the Coneheads. They put movies out about these beings, right? They are down now. Another group of beings is the Flugelrods, Yaku's drafted beings, right? They are down now. Another group of beings, we talked about the Flugelrods. Another group of beings is called the Dero, the elephant obese beings with the elephant trunk nose, right? And those beings exist down there. And then there are other some government experiment is there's reptilians down there as well. Reptilians on the other side of this ice wall. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying on the other side of the ice wall, but it's really that ice wall really goes down into a deeper city, because if you go look up the man Admiral Bird, he flew his plane down into this place, 800 miles. Right? He flew his plane down into a place, and then he said it looked like he was over Florida or Hawaii. It looked more like a tropical type city. And then he saw old ancient temples, and he saw animals which were thought to be extinct, and he wrote all this in a diary called Admiral Bird's Diaries. And then he came back because he was just around the fuse, so he turned around halfway and came back out, and he told the government what he had seen. And the government funded him to go back down in there on an expedition, right? And he getting up going down there on the expedition and meeting some of these people I'm telling you about. And one of the beings that he said in his diaries that he met was a big head being, right? Who say he looked like he was thousands of years old, but he didn't. But he looked at young, and he had a extra large head. He was talking about Fuquur, the Lord Fuquur, who is the leader of the Denakos, who was the being, Yishak brother. Yishak's brother was Fuquur. Yishak is Yaku's father, who disagreed with his brothers in the original ways of their tribe, and they decided to come to the surface. These beings, so they are from the center of the earth, Yishak, and pretty much Yaku people was from this other side of the ice wall, right? If you want to get into that perspective, right? And another group of people talk about the Greys, the Flugelrods, and then not just beyond the ice wall, there are over maybe 2,000 cities in all over the 7 continents on the surface. Maybe like 200, 300 cities over here underground, and they all connect via this advanced subway system. That's a magnetic 5 or Mark 5 magnetic levitation train that goes underground. And Billy Woodard talk about them riding on this train, right? That's connected, and they actually got this technology from the Venerians. The Venerians got this same technology on Venus underground. And so there's this train underground that connects everything, and pretty much you can get on this train and go to the center of the earth. From what Billy Woodrick said, they got a station for this train, and the train actually is manned on the center of the earth, right? And they make pickups, and they connected with the government. They working with the government. Now, what actually group? They said that when in 1952, when all of them UFOs appeared over the White House, that was the group from the center of the earth, Fuquur and them coming to warn the government, and because they were trying to do nuclear explosions, and them nuclear explosions was affecting the center of the earth because they almost cracked the surface. In 1945, when they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, that's when they started getting a lot of UFO sightings. And a lot of these UFO sightings were the beings from the center of the earth coming to the surface to prevent the government from pretty much causing a star holocaust. Because if they kept on blowing them bombs and testing them bombs in the atmosphere, and all it takes is the one right hit, and it'll cause Earth to get off its magnetic orbit, causing it to crash into others planets, boom, causing a star holocaust, affecting the whole galaxy. And I'm gonna tell you, man, like we told you, they babies. Babies always want to experiment and discover. That's why that particular race, they a baby race. They're only like 8,000 years old, 8,400 years old. So they always experiment. They want to go down on the moon. They want to go down in the ocean. They want to try to go over to Mars. They want to try to do this. They always messing with stuff, right? Like babies do. Yeah, Mount Sasha is where the Telosians, who also live underground, and that wouldn't be considered beyond the ice wall because that's in California. But that train do connect to going beyond that ice wall where the Rainbow City is set up, where extraterrestrials man that city. And it's a supercomputer down now called Mech that is actually took their rules, and these Flugelrods took control of. But the Denako is the ones that built that supercomputer. The Denakos actually are a mixed species that came from Ridge. They are a hybrid species, which is a cross between the Riskians and the Ramadians, the big head Ramadians. That's how these beings got that big head. Hey, Rabbi, if you're coming in. So we're talking about center Earth beyond the ice wall, because we hear people talking about, oh, what's beyond the ice wall? What's beyond the ice wall is a big old hole or lake. Like I said, if you go down if you go Google the lake in the center, you'll see this. If you go Google the lake, that's the lake Hitler and them was in, going to try to go to the center of the earth. That's the but for people that say, oh, it's flat, and then when you drive, you could drive off the earth. People think you could drive off the earth. That's the caveman Greek mentality. Right? The caveman Hyksos, who thought that holy Holy Ghost impregnate women. They the ones that came out with it because they didn't understand artificial assimilation. We've been mapping the world out for thousands of years, and we've been knew the world was round. The moon is round. The sun is round. We've been knew this. That was common knowledge. But some kind of way, the Neanderthal gene, caveman gene, is trying to predominate some people's mind, and that maybe they are caveman and they can't go past, oh yeah, it's black, because their brain is not that big enough to comprehend the world is round and spinning. I'm just telling you the truth. We've been knew this knowledge. The caveman came out with that knowledge. We knew the word. Before we even said the flat theory even came along, we knew the world was round for millions of years before the flat world theory came. You know what I'm saying? For millions of years. I'm telling you. So we ain't got time to play no more games with these guys that be buck dancing. There's one guy that talk about with the flat world theory. But like I told you, we got pictures of this thing in the holy tablets where we show you the earth. It looked like a donut. And it's got a hole at the top and a hole at the bottom. And in fact, and in most of your planets in your galaxy, most people live in the center of their planet. They don't even live on the surface. It's very rare and very seldom that people live on the surface of their planet. Most people live in the center of their planet. It's a hole in the top of Mars and in the bottom of Mars. Mars is hollow. Your moon is hollow. It's people that live inside of your moon. Your moon is a whole world inside of your moon. The whole cities where they grow food and they got water and they got a kinetical type energy that power their moon and move the moon. I'm telling you, man. And Mars got a hole in the top. Go Google it. No, because I want to be, I don't believe what Google say. Go look at they airbrushed it out though. NASA airbrushing all these holes out that they take pictures of. So Mars got a hole in the top. Jupiter got a hole in the top. Neptune got a hole in the top. Look it up. All the planets got holes in the top. And why? Because most beings live on the center of their planet. The people live in the center of their planet on this planet prior to, right? And then man began to multiply on the surface of the earth, right? Tahuti and them came and went to the center, set up the halls of Amenti. Then they came to the surface and started setting up the temples on the surface, the pyramids, temples, and the schools to start educating the mortals, the Lulus, the Enocytes, the forgetful beings. And hey, yeah, hit that like button if you're in here, if you're new to the channel. Like I said, beyond that ice wall is extraterrestrial bases. It is several other species, and it's a whole library down there. One of the best galactical libraries on this side of the galaxy is down in Shamballah. One of the high level schools that people come to, the halls of Amenti, set up by Tahuti, is the school of the birds, right? And they come down. It's different extraterrestrials that come from other planets and other galaxies that come here to go to school in the center of the earth. They come here to take courses, in particular courses that's only given on this planet, the Blue Rock, or inside the planet, should I say? And also, there's beings trapped down there in the fourth dimension in a temple, right? That's shaped like a hexagon. And these beings, they want out. Go back and watch a movie called The Immortals. Well, this guy, he finds the Artemis bow, which is Tahuti's bow, and he's one of them evil guys. He got one of his masks on that look satanic, right? And he gets the bow and he goes down there and let these 200 falling out, and he shoots the bow and breaks the lock off, and they come out. But then the angels come down. They call them, they say it's Zeus and all the rest of them, but we know that's Michael, Gabriel, the ones that rode, the archangels, right? They came down and kept them people from leaving there. And ultimately, Mikhail pulled the chains down. They had him as a white guy, right? But Zeus, right? But ultimately, really that was Ashtar Command, in that they had Ashtar Command playing the role, right? Because Ashtar Command still our names. You know, they got their own Mikhail. Ashtar Command got their own Gibrail. They got their own, you know, Tahuti or whatever. Because they still our names to confuse the people. Oh no, so like the crystal part, when they built a supercomputer, they use the hard drive is built off of a crystal data hard drive, right? And so if you study crystals, eventually, and they already doing this right now, the military, they just ain't gave it all the way over to the public yet. They'll find out now you can store computer or data on crystals, right? And on 1 yottabyte, because you're gonna get into yottabytes, you got gigabytes, you got watts, or you got to study that, right? For my my tech whizzes out there, you got gigabytes, terabytes, right? Your phone is on what 5 gigabytes, right? But the military is using terabytes. But then you can go all the way up to a thing called yottabytes, right? And on 1 carat crystal, you can store 9 yottabytes of data on, and that's a lot of data because you got, say, if you got a 1 terabyte on your laptop or your desktop computer, you can store a lot of information on 1 terabyte. Right, 1 terabyte or 10 terabytes. That's a lot. 10 terabytes, man. You could. I don't think nobody got 10 terabytes worth of shit. You know what I'm saying? Unless they got a lot of stuff on that joint, right? But they on 1 carat, one little small 1 gram carat, you can store 10 yottabytes. And so what these Denakos did, because they was more advanced than the humans, they created big ass hard drive systems made out of crystal. So they can, and that's kind of how like the Akashic records, the information is stored in the Akashic records on crystals. And the Anunnakis had this technology too as well. Let me get some water. The Anunnaki had this technology too as well. They call them the me tablets. And what these me tablets were Inky had them, Inky and Enlil had in control of them. And what they were kind of like a flash drive. You know how you like they used to have them old flash drives that you stick inside your computer and then all the information come up, right? So they had these crystal flash drives called the me keys or the me tablets. And Nana, my mother ended up stealing some from well, she ain't steal them. She actually played them out, talked them out of them, talked Inky out of some of them. We had like a floppy disk, right? But it's made out of crystal, right? You know, in the floppy disk they have like it's a certain type of fabric or like a wax type paper inside that they was recording the information on. But now these Anunnakis, they had a floppy disk, but it was made from crystals, right? And they could stick it in their computer and it'll pull up information on how to build certain technology or how to solve certain things, right? And so they call them the me tablets, and there was a whole stack of them, right? And these were used like it's a thing called respiration of knowledge. And so all the information, just like you would have store all your information on a hard drive, they had hard drives where they stored their information on. And now if they wanted to pull up something and figure out how to build something, they just put their hard drive in, the METAC key, and they can see it'll download all the information that they need right there, like the Matrix. You know how on the Matrix, when it was Dozer, I think it's what his name. No, his name was what's the dude name that was the main dude that was loading all the information? Dozer's brother. I'll think of his name in a minute. But when he said he plugged Neo up to the machine, plugged that thing in the back of his head, and he said, "What do you want to start with?" He said, "I want to learn how to fight." So he said, "Oh," he started going through the floppy disk, and then he came out, "Oh, this is karate, right? This is jiu-jitsu or whatever, right?" So it's kind of like that thing, and then they just load the key up, and then it downloads the information into their head through a respiration machine. And that's how. So if you want to, he said, "I want to learn how to hijack a hot rod, a motorcycle." And so they just type it in the computer and send it to him like information. So that's kind of like what the me keys were, and they were made out of crystals, right? That type of thing. Shout out to Stephanie Marie, the crown of Inanna. That's what Stephanie Marie means, the crown of Inanna. Hey, shout out to you in the building. Shout out my baby kids. So we talking about, if you're just not coming in, we talking about beyond the ice wall. Because we hear a lot of people talking about that. It's not really an ice wall, really. It's just a landmass that's got like a lot of ice on it, or a lot like an iceberg. And when you get to the middle of that thing, or when you get to it ain't really no other side. It actually goes in a big old circle, like a landmass. But in the middle of it, when you get to the middle of it, you'll start to see tropical land and grass as you get to a certain point, because the heat from that center sun is shooting through that hole, and it's keeping it's pretty much what's causing that lake to stay from froze. Right, and the temperature over that hole is different from the rest of Antarctica. That's what they ain't telling you. The temperature over the hole, that lake is like once you get to a certain point, that lake is like it heats up. That lake is maintaining a certain temperature all year round due to it being connected to the Oregon Ocean, connected to the center sun, which is pumping the sun rays through that sun. And that actual ocean is actually set to break down certain things, certain of the microwaves that's coming off that sun. Plus these plastic cities, advanced plastic cities that they set up, is helping with it. So that when that guy went down there knocking on that glass, it wasn't on glass. He was knocking on plastic. Because Doc talk about that. He talked about the advanced plastic cities that they set up down there in Shamballah, beyond the ice wall. It's an ice wall at the top, and it's an ice wall at the bottom. It's the top of Earth and the bottom of Earth. And like I say, it's a hole. And extraterrestrials come from other planets and fly down in there to that hole. And some of them that don't know that they're humans have broken galactical treaties. Now that they got technology, they can shoot them down like the direct energy weapons. You know them as laser beams, right? Laser weapons. They have attached these direct energy weapons to these military drones, and now they can actually spot these guys on radar, even with their cloaking device on, because they got this technology off of the crafts that they got from Area 50 from Roswell, when Bob Lazarus at Area 51, they was doing the research. That's how they got night vision and all that, man. You know, night vision, several other things like the thing that they put for the computer, some of the components for the computer, and some of the other military components that they use in their aircrafts. They got off this like stealth and things of that nature. They got off these aircrafts, right? And so they're using that technology. The military is about 40 years ahead of the public in technology. They stay 40 years ahead of the public in technology. They on terabytes now, while you still on gigabytes, right? And the military have cell phones. They call them two-way walkie-talkies, right? And then now you got these cell phones, but the military had them first. They got satellite phones now, where they can call from a whole nother planet and just flip their phone up, dial a nigga number at the White House from off Mars or from underground, somewhere deep underground. You know what I'm saying? And the Anunnakis had that technology as well. It says she went. Yeah, but it says the Anunnakis was zapping. Yeah, I did a tape on that where the Russians got into it with Enlil and them. Enlil and them, the Russians ran into Enlil and them, and Enlil and them boys walked them down. Yeah, Enlil told his boys to walk them down, man. They chased them Russians all the way out the cave, bumping on them. You know what I'm saying? They were blasting at them boys, them Anunnaki got them plasma weapons. Them boys walked them Russians down, and only one Russian survived to go back and tell about it. And he said that, man, these dudes were tall and black, and the one that was with him, he pointed at us, said, "Get him." He did some kind of sign. They don't know what he said. He pointed, and them niggas started blasting at each other. They had a big ass shootout with the Anunnakis on the ground. The Russians. They probably wasn't even supposed to be down there to see them Anunnakis down there. So the Anunnakis, when they seen them, they were like, "What the hell they doing down here?" And they said them dudes were tall. They were like 7 foot tall. These guys, these Russians. They walked them down, walked them down, walked them down. So them boys chased them all the way to the end of the cave, bumping on them, trying to make sure they ain't get out to go tell, man. Hey, look, right at this point, people saying they don't know if they can trust the Anunnakis. The Anunnakis might be trying to still pull. Like I said, the boys got technology. They talking that God stuff. They watching from the satellite. They trying to evolve us. Really on the low, trying to dissolve us. Niggas ain't slow. We ain't riding a small bus. That's facts. They using lasers, all that, man. Shoot down the flying saucers, right? And so what we're dealing with is we got some flat earthers out here that say, oh, beyond the ice walls, a whole bunch of extraterrestrials. And they still guessing and all that. But Dr. York already put all of it out already. Dr. Malachi York already put all the information out what's beyond the ice. We been knew what was beyond the ice wall years ago. Years ago. And so when they say ice wall, I'm like, damn, what they mean about an ice wall? Because it's a hole. It's once they get past, once you fly over the ice wall, and it's not really an ice wall, it's a landmass. There's a landmass of ice. And then once you get to the middle of it, it's a big old ocean. I mean, a big old lake in the middle that's thawed out because of the center of Earth, the sun in the center of the Earth that's shooting up through that hole. And you can actually go down in that lake. And Hitler and them found this out. You can go down in that lake in the submarine and come out in the Argon Ocean. And it's actually a whole city down under the Argon Ocean made of plastic. And it's a whole library up in there. It's a whole library, one of the most advanced libraries on this side of the galaxy. I'm telling you, man. And they got the fruits down there huge. Huge apples and oranges. Fruits, exotic fruit that's growing down there. Like cross between it's a cross between apples and apple and a strawberry. They got different types of crossbreeds. Huge mushrooms. Like I said, they put a movie out about it called Journey to the Center of the Earth. And the government know about this place. The government know about this place. Go, like I say, they put Admiral Bird and his team together, and they went down when Admiral Bird came back and told them what he seen. They sent a whole team down there, and they went down there and stayed a couple of days and landed their plane. Matter of fact, they said Admiral Bird said in his journals that when they flew back down there, they had enough fuel, right, to go down there. And when they flew down there, that once they got to a certain point, some device took control of his craft and made it land in a certain spot. So he said that once they got to a certain point, they lost control and the electronics and everything cut off in their plane. And the extraterrestrials in the center of the earth took control of their plane and landed it. And then once they got out, they met extraterrestrials. They went into this temple. They met the leader of these beings who just so happened to be Fuquur. Right? They want to cover up that. They tried to cover up the part that this dude was a Nubian that they met that was over the whole center of the earth. They had a big ass head, right? Named Fuquur. And Billy Woodricks talk about it too. Billy Woodricks talk about Fuquur too, being the leader of the center of the earth. Right? Doc talk about it in the Holy Tablets. And then when Admiral Bird and them, they let Admiral Bird and them leave. And when Admiral Bird and them left, and Admiral Bird and them said that they seen down now that when you get down now in Shamballah, your aging stop. So you can live thousands of years and it'd be like one day to you down there. So it's some beings that made it down now and stayed down now that was born in the 1930s or something, and they still down there and they still look like what they looked when they went down there. Right? I'm telling you, man. So it's like when you go down there, your aging stop in Shamballah. And the even the air is cleaner, because like Billy Woodricks said, he said that, man, the air up here is dirty. He said we're dying just off of the air. because the air is so polluted. The water is so polluted up here. He said the air is not polluted down there. And the way they live down there, they live around Mother Nature. They don't even walk on the grass. They got these hoverboards that they ride around down there. Yeah, like strawberries. They even got that same thing, James, and Billy, we're just talking about that too. Into the Telologians under Mount Sasha, they are fruitarians, and they have developed the way to grow their fruit bigger. Actually, I got the formula. Actually, I got the formula for that. Because all they do is they use two things: nitrogen, and they use carbon. They use nitrogen and carbon to stimulate the growth of the plant. Like if you take the ashes from your barbecue pit and put them in your plant, mix it with water, then pour it in your plant. It's gonna give your plant nutrients to grow. Plus, they use nitrogen. They use the nitrogen to increase the size of the plant. Yeah, but Admiral Bird, right? So Admiral Bird, and we talked about Admiral Bird, right? But Admiral Bird, after he ended up leaving from down there and had wrote all this stuff in his journals about the center of the earth, they came back and made movies about it. But the government killed or had allegedly took Admiral Bird out, right? And most of his crew that they didn't trust, that they figured out they would talk about it. And then they confiscated Admiral Bird diaries and put them into their secret Majestic 12 files. You got to understand about Majestic 12, right? And pretty much Majestic 12 is the man in black. And there's more than one entrance, Murray. That's right. So there's at least that we know of. Doc talk about a whole bunch of them in the when he actually on the map. He show you on the map what some of the entrances is at, and one of the entrances is at the pyramids in Giza. Another entrance is at the City of the Gods down in South America or Central America, right? Another entrance is at a particular cave, a couple of cave sites in America that have entrances. There is the Grand Canyon. I think it's an entrance in the Grand Canyon. It's an entrance right there in South Dakota where the Mount Rushmore is at. Right, it's a secret entrance there, and that entrance actually Abu Bakr II, who was Mansa Musa's brother, actually went down into that entrance to the center of the earth because he had lost men down there. Another entrance is you can actually get sucked down through the whirlpool in the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Murray, damn Murray, you right up on it, brother. Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle has a whirlpool right there where people get sucked. It's like you get sucked down. Billy Woodrick's. We got tapes on. Go to our playlist and go to the Galactic Family of Life playlist, and then scroll down to the Shamballa tapes with Billy Woodrick's. And Billy Woodrick's is a Flugelrod from the Flugelrod group from the center of the earth, and he and his sister got sent to the center of the earth because they put some of the hybrid children on the center of the earth to experience the earth, being an earthling. And some of them have power surviving up here and get labeled as crazy and put in crazy houses. Some of them get took out by the government. But they made a movie about this dude and his sister called Escape from Witch Mountain. Go watch a movie called Escape from Witch Mountain. And that Witch Mountain is Mount Sasha, where these beings live at. Some of them. Yeah, Escape from Witch Mountain. It's about Billy Woodrick's and his sister, who was extraterrestrials who came out and live on the surface. Yeah, UFOs come out of that Bermuda Triangle because it was a certain group of beings that crashed there called the Primitives or the Vulcans or the Meldekians, who were the ninja fleet, who were part of that the Four Winds, who got caught into Nubaru force field, and they crashed down in the Bermuda Triangle. And they're hybrid children, which are the Greys, the certain groups of the Ramadians or the these marker beings live down there. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles, right? The Ninja Turtles without a shell. The Ninja Turtles without a shell. They live down there, and allegedly the bad group had left and went back to Zados, or went to Zados, which is their new home. that the Anunnaki set up for them after they blew accident. They said it was an accident, right? Blew up their planet by accident. But to me, Murdoch was getting at them for real. You know what I'm saying? Murdoch was getting at them because we was, we was beefing with these guys. But allegedly the bad group went back to Zados Reticuli, right? Zados 2. But it's still a remnants of them that live in the Bermuda Triangle. And every now and then when ships and things go to that area, they lose control or lose they ship through EMPs. Another thing is that it's a pyramid down under the Bermuda Triangle called the Crystal Pyramid that Tahuti built that they ain't gonna tell you about it. And that pyramid at one point was hovering above water. Hey man, it's a long time. It's a long time, man. But truth is out now, man. This stuff been out. It's a secret priesthood that keep this information from you people. The head of that priesthood, his name was Zachariah Snitching, right? And then there was guys as he was the head priest, right? Or these scribe for the Illuminati. And then there's another guys that set up under him. They wrote novels about all this stuff, and they said it was novels and science fiction, but it really was the truth. And they really only wanted they people to read it. They knew that you wouldn't read, so they put all the stuff about them going to these other planets and everything, and they got these scribes or they priesthood and started to write these books. Another one of the scribes' name was John Carter. That was his name. John Carter. He wrote the books about Mars and Venus. Another one of the scribes' name was Richard Shaver. And these guys all were under the secret priesthood of Zachariah Snitching, right? We got all Zachariah Snitching books too, right? And there was many other guys that wrote about the Anunnakis before Zachariah, but he's one of the ones that wrote the most on about the Anunnakis. And he admitted to them as being black people as well. Yeah, but the thing is, all this information is already out. Different cultures, ancient cultures already talk about the underworld. Before the Bible, before the YouTube, before TV, it's a whole bunch of ancient cultures that already got stories about the underworld. Even the Bible kind of go into it a little bit when they say talk about hell, this underworld, this world that's under the world that you go to down there. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of even allude to it a little bit because it is hell to them. It is hell to them having to stay in the caves, right? So this is where we at. Was who speaking on the Riskians? Was who speaking on the Riskians? The Outer Barons are a group of extraterrestrial beings who are actually a hybrid race off of the Proconians, who were Outer Barons. I mean, they were Proconians who were albinos, who were eventually treated as second-class citizens on their planet and sold into slavery by their black hand counterparts with the blonde hair, and they sold them to these reptilians as a food source. And the reptilians took them to Aldebarans and set up a chicken farm or human farm type planet where they can adopt these people every certain amount of years as a food source. Just like they were trying to do with the 144,000 with Bell, Enlil's son, and Alelu, Anu's brother. But these Aldebarans, eventually a group of them escaped and go to Venus and became known as your Val Thors. And these people who are really a hybrid race, just like the Flugelrods drafted out of the Hindus. They really Hindus too, but they're a drafted race. The Aldebarans are a drafted race out of these Proconian Hindus who end up going to Aldebarans, right? And then end up making it to someone broke off and went to Venus, but the reptilians followed them there and still was trying to eat them, right? But yeah, so the Aldebarans are these beings who, and one group of them was eventually sent here by the reptilians to be like their the Dragonian reptilians to be like a stand-in hybrid race, right? One group of these the Barons. They brought here by the reptilians to be like a hybrid race to take over, like to pretty much be they stand-in middleman for their puppeteers on the planet Earth, right? And then they became known as your Rockefellers, and these guys which are hybrid reptilians, and your Queen Elizabeths, which are hybrid reptilians, right? That actually shade shift at these rituals and drink blood, and we'll get into it, right? We don't want to get too exclusive, but you already know for you people that's been up to speed. Because there's some Forrest Gump shit. Run, Forrest, run, then. Run, Forrest, run. Says Endless Son Murder and Inky. Now, Endless son named Murdoch. Murdoch is Inky's son. Nergal is Inky's son. Murdoch is Nergal's older brother. Endless oldest son that line up with Murdoch, his name is Ninurtu. That's Murdoch's oldest cousin. First cousin. Endless oldest son. Ninurtu. What hybrid race was created in the reptilians? Most of all of us, our avatars got reptilian in them. You got reptilian in you. You got a reptilian brain. We can get into it. You need a certain amount of water. Go watch a tape that we got out with Dr. Malachi Z. York called Reptilian DNA in the Humans. Tell me right. They need why they want to control you and they need you. The same reason you want to control and cows and apples and oranges. Because they need you to eat, man. They need you to survive. Parasites need a host. There's some extraterrestrials that come here and get humans just to live in them. And then some of them come here just to live in you. Parasites and bacteria. You know? Nah, Inky's not Tahuti. Tahuti is Murdoch's little brother. Not his baby brother. See, Inky four sons is Murdoch, he the oldest. The main four sons. Murdoch, then Nergal was born. Then Ningazita, who you call Tahuti, his name is Ningazita. And then you have Damuzi, which is the baby boy, which is really, you call him Osiris. Right? Brothers. Murdoch is the oldest. Nergal is the second oldest. Ningazita is the third Tahuti. And then Damuzi, the other, who is really Osiris, who was married to Inanna, who is Enlil's granddaughter. Nanar's daughter. Nanar's Enlil's son. Ninurtu's little brother. So, yeah, that part. He says, what time is it, man? We better get up out of here. Yeah, Billy Woodricks. Go look up Billy Woodricks, man. We got tapes out on him right now, and we got tapes out on him in the thing in the Galactic Family of Life tapes. Now, that's what I'm telling you, man. Atum Ray is Murdoch. Atum Ray is Murdoch. Atum Ray is all the same person. It's Ra at different points in times of the day, and Ra is Murdoch. Amun Ra, the ancient, the craft of Amun Ra is the same thing to say the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. Yeah, Malachi. Malachi is Murdoch. And like I say, Murdoch translated to Amen, and to into the angel Michael for you Bible guys, and then to El Kadush for you Quranic guys, right? He got other names, the green one, right? Melchizedek, and all of his brothers, Nergal. Well, Nergal turned against him, but Tahuti and his other brother Damuzi was after the order of Melchizedek, and even Haru was after the order, or after the order of Amen, which is the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. So, with that being said, Alelu is a Nu's brother, half brother, who slices DNA with the Nomos. He a Nomos king. All right. So we hope you gave you what you needed to get about the ice wall. Like I said, you can read in the holy tablets about the Shambhala and Antarctica, the center of the earth. You can look it up. The Hindus been talking about it. A lot of ancient cultures, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Sumerians, the ancient Mayans, all the ancient cultures talked about a world beneath this world. So it ain't nothing new. It's just that they wanted to keep us ignorant and dumb and keeping us on some Jesus and Allah and this other religious dogma, but never give us the real information because they want to keep that for themselves so they can be the masters and we stay slaves and stay ignorant and not knowing nothing. But like I said, master teacher already gave us all this information already 10 times over, and we just took off and ran with it. We running with it. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 Chainz say, take that and run with it. Because Trump worked for a different conglomerates, and the power that he got is to close them out, to liquidate them. That's the only power he got. He coming in to liquidate U.S. corps. Go watch our tape called Big Mama's Trump Card. Watch our tape called Plan 2025. And you better wean yourself off the government. Yes, our Nana has a throne in Orion. Orion is our home. Yeah, Baba, I got this. I got this. Y'all know. And we out, man. And like I said, we're going to win this war. Why? Because we can dance and they can't. What do?